Hey y'all. Just wanted to step in for a sec and give you a little bit of some backstory of some things that happened to me in my childhood. It's the same thing that's going on today in many households across many nations, and it needs to cease. At a young age, I want to say 9, 10, if not 9, definitely 10. There was a person married into my family, which was my next to the youngest aunt's husband. This person not only molested me or attempted to, he tried to molest my sister, cousins, age of 10. I'm down at my uncle's. That was our favorite uncle. That was my dad's youngest brother. So all of his nieces and nephews used to like to be down at his house. However, it's the weekend. We spent the night down at his house. So early one morning, I'm sleeping on a couch or maybe on a rollaway bed or something back then. And in my sleep, I'm feeling my clothes coming down. And and then actually my underwear because I cannot remember what I was wearing, but I remember this person trying to slide down my underwear. And when I woke up, turned to turned to my right, this person was sitting in a chair in his underwear. Meanwhile, people are in the house, but they're asleep. My uncle was in his bedroom. He was asleep. Thank goodness he woke up and came in there. I don't know how this person got his pants or whatever on so quickly, but he did it before my uncle came in there. So I had to wait because I knew this person had pulled down my clothes until he left the area, until my uncle left the area, just to get from under the covers and or actually slide my clothes back up under the covers, and then I got up. And I believe I went home. We stayed right upstairs on the first floor. My uncle at the time was in the basement apartment, so we lived in the same building. That was the first time. Second time, now this used to be my favorite aunt on my dad's side. Then I have a favorite aunt on my mom's side, in which they both happen to share the same name. How funny is that? However, at this time, she was my favorite aunt, so I used to like to go and spend, nights over there. But at the time, not only was she in school for uh, nursing or whatever, I think she was going to school for nursing, but she was also working overnights. And so they had three boys, and we were close with their sons. So I used to like to, we used to like to spend the night over there. You know what I mean? 'Cause we could play the video game. We can watch cartoons on a projector. Just some stuff that we didn't have. You know what I mean? So, and then we just enjoyed being around them. So, okay, that was 10. Then he tried it again. I believe I was 11. Spent the night over there. And I told my cousins because they had a bad habit of going to sleep on me. And I'm like, y'all gonna fall asleep on me? Oh, no, we're not. No, we're not. And of course, I'm always the last person up. But however, their dad wasn't there. But then while I was up, he walked in the door. My heart kind of dropped. He proceeds to go to his bedroom, or which was their bedroom, I think. because I believe him and my aunt slept in the living room, if I'm not mistaken, because at this time it was just a one bedroom apartment. Um, and so this person comes, touches me, because I actually tried to play sleep. He comes and touched me and says, "Let's go in the room and play house." This is a whole fully grown man. And you're telling an 11-year-old to go and play house. Needless to say, I just cried myself out of that situation. And for a while, I stopped going over there, as far as staying overnight. Now I'll go during the day to visit and we'll play, and then I'll go home, but as far as overnight stays, I stopped doing that for a while. And my mom asked at the time why I didn't go over there anymore to spend nights. And I just told her because my cousins they go to sleep too early for me. I never told her why I stopped going over there. Now, mind you, my parents never had a talk with me saying, if anyone ever touched you, come and tell us. So in my mind, maybe I did something wrong, so I was afraid. And then he had a way of making you afraid, like you better not tell anyone, So he made a way of, you know, making me afraid. I'm not sure how it went with the other girls, but I was afraid to talk to my parents about it because, like I said, they never talked to me about if anyone ever touches you, come to us, so we held it in. We never said anything. The last time he tried me, I was 12. My cousin was over there and she had her newborn kid at the time. Well, he was a few months old, but still newborn. And she and I were on the bed sleeping. They had like a let out couch or whatever, uh, however you want to say that. So we were sleeping on that. And he came and woke me up and tried to get me to come in the room with him. So I just screamed, "No, no, no, no." I called my cousin's name. He was trying to just shove a $20 bill in my face. Shh, 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 shh. Trying to give me a $20 bill. And then when she woke up, she already knew. She was like, "He tried it, didn't he?" I said, "Yes, he did." Now, mind you, this same day, I don't know, maybe he left. I'm not sure. I can't remember that far. There's a lot of stuff I remember, but as far as what he did after that, whether he left, whether he ran in the room, I can't remember. But anyhow, again, my aunt was at work. She was working overnights. And so it was a Sunday morning. And so, we got ready when she came. I don't believe she even got any rest that day, and we ended up just going out or whatever, hanging out. And then I went home. So fast forward some years later, okay, my aunt used to babysit my granddad. He was married to a woman, beautiful woman, and they ended up having a child. And so, although my aunt was working overnight, she used to babysit my aunt. Crazy to say, I'm older than my aunt, at least like 10, 11 years. And so, anyway, she used to babysit her during the day while my granddad's wife worked. Now, at this time, my granddad had passed. He passed, I believe she was a year, maybe 2 years old. I want to say maybe two, three. two or three. Anyhow, and so this person tried to touch her at the age of 3. Yeah, she was 3. She was 3 at the age of 3. And she told her mom. And so this is how it all came out. One evening, my parents called us all to their bedroom. My dad's people was living there. That's going to be another story. So they called me, my sister, and one of my cousins to the bedroom and asked, have this person ever tried to touch us? And we all said yes. We all admitted that he have tried. He have tried all of us. Now, how far, like I said, he got with the other people, I have no idea. But there was one cousin, one, which is the oldest on my dad's side, who lied just to spare our aunt's feelings. And she knew she was the very first person that he tried to molest. More than once, I'm sure more than twice. She lied to spare our aunt's feelings. Needless to say. So they had a meeting with her, called her over, and they told her what happened with us and what was going on and what her husband tried to do or what had been doing. They called us to the room again. Tell her what you told us. We told her, do you know this woman could not get past? I just don't understand why nobody ever told me. I don't understand why ain't nobody ever told me. I don't. This is all she kept saying. Not one time did she get upset, angry. It's like she was angry at us for not telling her versus what her husband was doing to us. You know how bad that hurt? Being that this was supposed to be my favorite aunt, didn't protect us at all. You didn't even protect your own baby sister because you stayed with this predator for years after that. And only within the past 5 to 7 years have you just left him. Reasons unknown. So she didn't protect me. She didn't protect us. And although they called over the person to the house, and so my dad and my aunt, my uncle, they kind of jammed them up some. You know what I mean? However, no one called the police, made a report. Even though back then, I'm not sure how that would have went, but just to at least try to defend your children in any kind of way. Although I do appreciate what you did, but that just wasn't enough. So it was almost just like no protection. And these are the people that are supposed to protect us. It's something I probably held on to, but I have to let it go. But this is just something that the enemy wants to hold over your head. He wants to reopen old wounds. However, I'm confronting old wounds.
But we weren't protected the way we were supposed to be. Not by her. And I feel like not by my parents. There's a whole nother story about that. Although there was no molestation in my household. It was just a journey in itself. But for years, I couldn't look at my aunt the same. And then not long after everything was out in the open, we tried to go over just to, go and play with our cousins, just to have them outside. And do you know, this person kicked us out. Get out, get out, get out. And proceeds to call us liars. You liars, you liars, you liars. If that wasn't a red flag, if that wasn't a red, and she didn't see anything then, if that wasn't a red flag, you kicked us right on out, calling us liars. When what we said was the absolute truth. See, he was older than her, so he was manipulating her mind. He turned her against us. She took his word over ours, even her own baby sister. And I just didn't have the same feeling for her anymore. Still loved her, don't get me wrong. But as far as being my favorite, that was out the door, even at a young age. That just really drew a wedge in a relationship that we had with her. But see, the oldest cousin, she was so busy trying to ass kiss this person, her aunt, so that just to spare her feelings, like I said, so that she don't turn on her. And of course, she didn't, because of all of us. That was their favorite, all of them. But that's another story. She was favorite of all his of my dad's siblings. She was the favorite. But I just wanted to share that part, and how I just I wasn't protected the way I should have been. We weren't protected the way we should have been. But that person, he has to face his own judgment when his day comes. Because I'm almost certain that he touched one of his children, if not more than. But I definitely know one, and it's a boy. That'll be in another story. So please don't come at me saying, why am I putting your business out there? See, this is the problem with families, especially black communities. You always want to keep everything a secret. You have people molesting your children, having kids by children, and you want to keep it under wraps. Those days are over. This is why I always told my kids, if anyone ever touches you, you better inform me. Because I did not want them to experience anything I had to go through. And my mom going through this herself as a child. She should have definitely been the one to sit down and talk to me and her daughter.
She should have definitely been the one. But all this secret crap, that's over with. We speaking our truths. Teach your kids to speak their truths now, not later, so that it does not damage them in the long run. And thank God, thank you to my Heavenly Father, that did not take me, that did not damage me. It hurt, yes, but it did not damage me. Not everyone rises through these things. So many young ones get defeated. They turn to the streets. They turn to drugs. They turn to alcohol. They turn to everyone because they were not protected by the ones that they looked up to, the ones that's supposed to love them, the ones that they loved. They were not protected. And the sad part is it's still going on to this day. Mothers taking their man's word over their daughters. You people are sick and twisted, and you will face your judgment. Anytime you put a man before your children, you are a sick individual, and I have absolutely no respect for you. So, guys, I just wanted to come share that. I'll be sharing some more of my story. But that's one part I just had to release and get out. I have shared it, so those who know, they know, but I have never shared it with the world. So, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.